up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Host Tanzan, Maggie, and me bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 10.26, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, where we are covering the novel Death Masks. My name is Tanzan, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Hi.
Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us to do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, Pubcast merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at www.patreon.com/freeflowrambling.
Chapter 29. Harry contacts Murphy and gets her involved with investigating the impending attack from the airport. He and Susan then leave for Wrigley Stadium for the duel. All participants arrive, and the archive sets up the Death Stone for the fight of wills. The duel begins, and just as Dresden gains advantage, Ortega pulls a gun.
He can't do that.
That rat bastard!
Gee. So yeah, gives Murphy a call, explains everything to her apparently short and simple, and gets a dear God.
Right.
Can I summarize or what?
Right, he asks her to find a list of any chartered planes leaving between 7 and 8:30. She lets him know that some detectives are looking for Harry to arrest him for the questioning, thanks to Rudolph, our favorite.
Our favorite, Rudy.
Such a good little cop.
Like, oh, by the way, remember that whole thing you had at the harbor the other day? Yeah, apparently they're still interested in that.
Weirdly enough, a man of your description.
They've decided now they want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So,
That was only yesterday. It's not like the cops have put this off for a long time. That happened yesterday.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Harry's pretty good about it, because he takes advantage of this and tells
Murphy,
thank you.
Yeah.
Tells Murphy that she should hint to Rudolph of the record.
Off the record.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna stop. You take that one.
Hint to Rudolph.
Take it.
So in 1984, the Fanatics put out an album. Murphy suggests this record to Rudolph.
We went into
And a boot to the head.
We went into a deep dive about the Fanatics.
Fanatics?
After last episode's Tanzan's little,
By the way.
insert, only to find out that Dave, first of all, dropped it into our Discord nearly a year ago to the day. And on top of that, he got it from Battleground, which we all read, completely forgot about. Tanzan brought it full circle, so we're giving all the credit to Tanzan now, even though technically Jim Butcher did it 3 years ago.
We also figured out that it's Canadian, and they actually are making fun of Calgary.
We thought they were talking about the Scottish Calgary, and we were going to take credit for ourselves, but they're a Canadian.
They were all sounding vaguely British in their skit, so yeah, we thought this was going to be the UK reference to it, but no, probably
They really
not.
were insulting us.
Yeah.
High five, guys. That one was for us. Yeah. It's real. Okay, so speaking of...
That group is probably from Edmonton.
Fuck those guys.
I don't know. They recorded their album in Toronto, so I have a feeling they're probably...
Oh, they just hate everybody that's in the world.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah.
Them damn cowboys.
Albertans.
Ugh.
Mortal enemy. So, speaking of, Harry was at the docks yesterday. I'd like just all together, everyone listening, you guys here, let's do a real quick timeline all together.
Oh, yes.
I got some questions, okay? Chapter 18, they were at Max. When was that meeting happening, okay?
They were supposed to meet at
between 8 and 8:30.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when Susan was coming to get him. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Then they get to the hotel, they spend some time mingling and fucking around and running through the hotel basement. So, like, what do you think that puts us at?
So the original meet was supposed to be at 11:45, and then when Marconi runs into Harry, he obviously calls Anne and tries to bump it up a little bit. So 11:30, 11:15. I don't know how much he was bumping it up.
Yep, sure, great. Then we're at chapter fucking 22, 21, 22, and we are underground, okay? So what do you think? Like, Harry's getting...
For the mystery amount of time where he's strung up, that could be a day, could be...
He says hours
Under
pass,
10,
right?
yeah.
So we're thinking he gets strung up maybe about midnight, and then hours, question mark, pass. Chapter 23, Shiro shows up and they're escaping and they're running, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bail out the car with Susan, get inside the house, set up the defenses. Defenses are set to be up for 8 hours. Harry thinks Dawn will erode those
What will we do to fill the time?
a little bit sooner, okay? February...
Wow.
February 2005 in Chicago, sunrise was about 7 a.m. So that means like maybe 6 hours that they spend having to be locked up, okay? They're free at 7 a.m. That brings us to chapter 25 when they leave and head to McAnally's to get his car and then presumably straight to Michael's after that.
Yeah.
They don't say that they're running errands or anything like that.
Want to talk to them, and then he goes to talk to Valmont.
Shows up at the house, talks to Valmont, calls Vincent on the phone. Vincent says, meet me at my hotel room at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're at like, what, maybe 8 a.m.? And he wants to meet at 2? No idea what happens in this period, but Harry left the house and was like, get your shit, we're going for a fight.
Hey, Susan put the news on. He had donuts with Fort Hill.
Okay.
And then he had a whole big thing with Anne. I'm sure that took they had breakfast, okay?
Okay, let's say we're at 10. Let's give him 2 hours for that, okay? We're at 10.
Yeah.
We're still 4 hours out from his meeting with Vincent, okay? But as soon as he left the house, he was like, Michael, Sonia, let's fucking go to a fight right now. Get your shit.
Get what you need for a fight,
Right?
yeah.
Whatever. So 4 hours, who knows what happened in there or whatever like that. It took a really long time to drive across Chicago.
Hey, you know what? He was really upset after Anna. He spent a lot more time out there
building that house with Fort Hill. Yeah.
Things.
Maybe so.
Yeah, he had a bang and a whole bunch of boards before we just got the condensed version of that conversation. I don't know.
Chapter 28, 2 p.m. We're at the fucking... And the reason that I say that 2 p.m. has got to be firm is because Vincent is not hanging out there because he's got his own real hotel to be staying at, or the monster has his real own underbelly to be hanging out in, right?
Yeah. What monster?
We did that chapter already, so he's a monster. We can talk about it now. Point is that either way, we know that there was no reason for the real Vincent or the real Cassius to be living in that motel room outside of meeting Dresden for either version of the cover story, right? So why would he be there earlier than 2? So 2 o'clock, okay? He's supposed to meet Ortega at sundown, which is not 2 p.m., even in February, Chicago. And I know we had this conversation.
We did figure out
it probably wasn't 8 or 9. It could be more like 5 or 6 p.m., which is okay. It does February short.
Chicago, you said,
I'm willing to admit that we gained back a couple hours there, too. And yes, he does also mention that he went and fucking got taco time or whatever the fuck it was on his way between his house and
Taco
Cassius.
Bell.
No name, yeah.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
That no-name taco fast food place, It's not Burger King, damn it.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm putting advertisements in it.
No, this is what I'm saying, though, is like, I don't want to advertise for Taco Bell, but I'll advertise for Taco Time. Taco Time's way better. Fuck you, Taco Bell.
Well, yeah, because the taco times here, some of them, the cantina ones, actually serve you beer and wine.
Yeah.
Although it was really funny because
Sangria.
where was it? Mucho Burrito that we were at the other day?
Yeah, we were at a Mucho Burrito.
And they had a whole thing, and they were like, they had a cooler full of alcohol and a big sign on it that said "not for sale." And we're like, "How?" I'm like, "Is that just for like the?" Because obviously
Lost
it
their
was
liquor
one of
license?
the, I don't know, or maybe it's the time of day or something. Like, I don't have a clue, but I was just like, is this just for like the staff to be like, sorry, we have.
We're getting our
you
first
guys
Chipotle.
can't have any, but
Chipotle's coming to Calgary.
oh really?
Yeah. Chipotle's great.
I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yes.
Is that the place that's not allowed to be open on Sundays for church?
No, that's a Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't like Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is
Okay.
the real religious one.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty homophobic.
I can't remember if that's you said in Canada or just here.
Here.
Because I was gonna say, I feel like did we go to
coming here.
one in BC? That might have been. I feel
Oh,
like
I don't
that
know
was
if it's anywhere else in
They're letting American stores come here?
Target,
Again.
which like lasted 6 months
Target
before
lasted
it like
nothing, no.
got
Bed
bankrupt.
Bath and Beyond. I was so mad about this. My boss was talking about this like in March.
Don't tell me they're going.
Oh, they're
They're
gone.
gone.
Oh, I like
So
that.
And they're not
I
accepting
hope-
gift cards.
I don't. I hope you don't have a gift card because I forget exactly the date, but something like they were selling gift cards up until like March 8th, and then like on March 9th they announced
Stopped
they were
accepting
going like
gift cards.
bankrupt, and you could I'm like, that's bullshit. So I'm like, I get you don't want to tell everybody
That's
and like
too bad.
leak
They
the
have
news.
the best kitchen stuff.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I thought
Gadgetry.
they were pretty popular here, but yeah, I'm like, that to me is the rudest thing ever. That I'm like, you should have.
And
just been,
Nordstrom's also gone now.
Yeah,
Amazon's killing everything.
Yes, goodbye everyone. Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
rude. But
And
yeah,
it's that whole
I'm
delivery
like,
thing.
I'm sorry, you bought a gift card. That shit should be honored. If you still have product
Totally.
on the shelf, I should be able to use my gift card
100%.
because they didn't.
You already got the money from me, bitch.
Exactly. It's like they hadn't closed the stores yet, so it was like even if I don't want your shitty
But
shower
really,
curtain.
at that point, just start stealing. Who gives a fuck?
Uh.
What are they going to do with their inventory? Fuck them.
Yeah, right.
I mean, ship it down to the American stores?
We didn't finish the whole point about like the 6 p.m. Sorry, bringing it back. To
I don't
the
know what
original
you guys said to
conversation.
derail me, but it wasn't my fault.
Tacos. We talked about tacos.
Listen, point is that whatever the fucking timeline is like certain things got like 18 things happened in the span of 1 hour, and then there was like 3 hours where Dresden just like stared at a wall and it was like,
like that NPC character.
sure would be cool if I could take a nap right about now. I don't really use one of those.
Ooh,
Like,
too bad I am so busy.
like yeah, like the timeline in this
kind of
this section of the book is
stretches
so
and
crazy.
bunches really weird sometimes. Yeah,
And also, like, it's been 11 chapters since we last mentioned Ortega. 11 chapters passed from the meeting at McAnally's to the duel at Wrigley.
but it's like the next day.
Not even. The meeting was at 8 p.m. and apparently sundown is like 6 p.m. So like 22 hours has passed.
Wow.
I said the next day. I didn't say fully 24 hours.
Okay, I guess so. But still, my point is
yes, it's
like-
less than 24 hours, and
and yet he only was actively doing anything for like 4 of those hours, plus another 7 where he was like fucking sleeping around with Susan.
yeah, I was gonna say he was probably pretty active for a few of those hours.
But yeah, but
I mean, sure, they glossed over some
That's
of it,
not
but
a lot of recharge time.
if Dresden's got any
Pent up?
No, but I was gonna say if he's oh god, how do I want to phrase that? He's got, I don't know, not what I was gonna say, but any stamina at all. It definitely took longer than it took to read that. So you know, I'm like, if it was over that fast,
Sure.
Susan would not be mourning the loss of Dresden that much. So I'm gonna assume that they filled their hours that evening.
my point is, and I understand that even if you take into account like what I'm sure traffic in Chicago must be fucking horrible.
yeah.
I'm still like, what is going on with this timeline, Butcher? I have questions.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, like leaving the house right now because Murphy's like, you don't have time to spend at your house. Like, you got home, he called Murphy, and he
Yeah, it's like you have 5 minutes to get the fuck
get
out
the
of there.
fuck out of
then.
your house, right? And we know that he wasn't home beforehand because he had to still run around his house and grab all his shit. So we know that he didn't
Yeah.
call Murphy last.
Because he just went out with Michael and Sonia over
Right.
to Vincent's.
And then
back
immediately
to
this
his place.
chapter is Susan pulling up in a car and driving him directly to Wrigley. So it's like,
Yeah.
I just...
I find that's not uncommon sometimes for me in books, though. Sometimes I'm really like, how, like, yeah, it feels like this was supposed to take so... Or even in TV shows, it'll do that. It'll be, like, daytime, and then all of a sudden, like, the next scene, it's, like, nighttime, and you're
See,
like,
like-
oh, okay, this is later that day. And then you'll go back and it's daytime, and you're like, is this the next day? Like, why is it-
There's times when I'm not as curious about it, but when you're specifically like, this book has referenced the time so many times. It's like, we're gonna meet here at 8, we're gonna meet here at 2, we're gonna meet here at 4, we're gonna meet here at sundown, we're gonna meet here at sunrise. It's like,
Right.
Butcher, do you know how many hours pass between all these times? Like,
Oh, maybe I'll have
all
to
he's
actually
done
go
is
down a
walk.
bit. Maybe
All
there's
he's done is
some-
watch the dock and then went back home, and then he like went to McDonald's, and he went back home, and he went to McAnally's, then he went back home, and he went to the hotel, and then he went to Underground, and then he went back home. It's like,
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
He
just
must
some-
take micro naps places because like he can't really function otherwise. Like
oh man.
Well, he was passed out for a while when Nikki grabbed him. He was passed out for a
After
while
Susan, yeah.
after Susan grabbed him. He was, those are his micro naps when he gets knocked unconscious. And
I mean,
just
these are
comes
his
to and
files.
some-
He's just omitting, and I took a cat nap.
That'd be really funny, yeah. It's like, he's like, I'm gonna make myself cooler. I'm not gonna mention that I fell asleep on the bus.
Yeah, right.
I've been stoked
Yeah,
and awake
so
for
it's just
14 days.
It's like a pretty.
Can I borrow the sewing room?
How many times has Dresden, like, like Charlie Brown himself or, like, step on the rake, and he's like, well, I'm not writing that fucking down. And then, like, we're gonna get, like, Morgan's
Yeah.
files, and it's gonna be like, this dumb bitch has slept 11 times. He keeps walking into tree branches.
Secretly, he looks really ridiculous in a duster, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, why?" But he's like, "I look so cool."
I'm so cool.
Well, that's just a general person. We all do that.
Not me. I really look cool every time.
Yeah. She says in her friend's hand knitted halter top
Which
But
is
she was
fabulous, by
not-
the way.
It looks so good, right? If I just don't move quickly, my boobs stay inside of the halter top.
That's the key, folks. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Harry was saying as they were leaving Vincent's too that like he was like scrunching down in the corner and closing his eyes while they were busy having a laugh about the right. So I'm like, he did good. Like
But they stood around Vincent and gloated for a really long time. An uncomfortable amount of time.
They're still outside the hotel, like, look at this fucker trying to make it across the street.
They're lying quarters down every couple of feet.
Ready? Here's that 10 cents you need.
Dimes, yeah.
they on the string. Come on. Oh, I almost got it. Oh, I almost got it.
Oh, did that piece of glass hurt?
Yeah, that was the thing that Michael was like, maybe omit this when you write down your case stuff. I don't need people to know that happened. Ivy doesn't need to know that about me.
Michael, your halo's a little rusty there.
They went for a steak sandwich, is really what they actually did.
Yeah. So yeah, supposedly they are getting to this big, scary, empty stadium. Well, actually, no, they have a nice moment.
We haven't even
with,
hit there yet. I think we started
Susan
this-
pulls up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He finds his old canvas duster because that hides a gun better, and he can't be without really. Like,
and he's like, it makes me look cool. Well, cooler.
I wonder if like Butcher was halfway through writing this, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's got the canvas one still."
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So yeah, this is because that's why we haven't seen it before. We've been in like jean jackets and like squall. You know, it's like okay, because he took it and like packed it up and put it in a it hasn't been like readily. Because I was like, why didn't you just substitute that out in the first
Got
place?
like bullet
But-
holes
I'd
and
like
blood
to-
stains on it still.
I'd like to imagine even more that Butcher was just sitting in his house. He's like, what's in my closet? Squall jacket. He's wearing what do I have? Jean jacket. And then eventually he's like at home trying to shove like his Nokia brick. And he's like, this won't even hide my son. He's not getting a gun in this jacket. All right. He finds the canvas duster.
Well, and it's a good finale kind of thing. Near the end of the book, he's got to have his
Right,
Listen,
his
it's
mojo
all about the image, okay?
and his exactly right. There's gonna be the big bad showdown. You gotta have the big bad wizard and the whole exactly.
When you can't have the Western showdown win
Without
through
it.
his jacket if it's a denim like.
a fleece line denim.
Every cowboy romance novel in the world is judging you right now.
Canadian tuxedo just doesn't have the same ring.
No, without the canvas duster, you don't have not cover for your books.
So he goes outside and he's picked up by Susan because apparently Martin declined to assist, but Susan has answered the call at least because she's like, yeah, fuck you, bro.
Yeah. Apparently Martin has better things to do, and so do you, Susan. But Susan's like, screw you, Martin. I'm gonna go help Harry.
Take a look at my boyfriend.
He's the one I don't have.
Yeah.
So they have a little chit chat, and she's all like, "Are you fine?" And he's like, "I'm fine." She's like, "You don't look fine." And he's like, "No, it's okay." He's like, "Actually, I'm glad you weren't there." And Susan's like, "Why?"
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You're a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, a chauvinistic peg.
Beating up bad guys is a boy thing. Yeah.
Chauvinistic peg? Yeah, I get it from Murphy. She's a bad influence.
Like, you're just lucky because Murphy would have kicked you, didn't he?
Right?
I'm that. But
It's
yeah,
real cute, though.
it's a cute moment. It's fun. Yeah.
And in a book that is sorely lacking Murphy, I appreciate it.
Right? Right? Yeah.
Little call to.
Yeah.
And I think also, just to point out here, that Murphy was able to tell him that the cops were on her way there. Wasn't she put on sabbatical yesterday, too? Has that already been erased as well?
Oh, I guess that was why, because, I think I had, in the garbled one, I'd made the point that he calls on, like, her personal cell phone. I was like, Dad, was that just to make sure he gets a hold of her? But you're right.
She's
that's
like,
probably 'cause
she's got the banker's box and she's putting her shit in it.
She's still got her police banner radio. Like, come on.
I
like,
guess
every
so.
psycho Tom, Dick, and Harry tunes into that. You think Murphy's not? And knows what all the side channels are.
Because didn't she have access from her home, her home PC
Well,
to,
that's the thing we were
police
questioning
files?
about how she was able to look up the cell phone information after she'd been taken off the case, right? But,
Was that
you're supposed to turn in your badge and your gun, okay? No one said anything about the police radio scanner.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say, and the cell phone thing for sure, if you've got friends, exactly,
Yeah.
like if you can't get your, but yeah, I was going to say, I could see her, something like that, where they're just doing, I could see, yes, definitely her having some kind of...
She's allowed to be in the office doing paperwork for other cases.
Yeah, well, actually, that's true, too. She wasn't necessarily, she was just taken off this case, so yeah, that's very likely, too, that she's still at work doing so.
But yeah.
Yeah, fair point, but
It
you're
just
right,
seems like,
that's probably-
yesterday you were taken off this case and you're like, by the way, Harry, you're about to be arrested in part of this case.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like my office place. They gossip all over the place whether they're supposed to or not. I'm like, I feel like it's kind of like how when you mark like fragile on like postal or like delivery things, and they're like, don't do that because the guys just like boot your shit across the warehouse and laugh if you mark it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I feel like it's like the more sensitive it is, you know, like lawyers and doctors and police, like, and they're probably like the worst gossips and talking about like every fucking weird case and weird thing that's you know what I mean? So
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm like, you should hear some of the shit that's been going on around my work lately, and it's really not that interesting a place. I'm like, I can only imagine what SI has.
Your work is set in a town that doesn't even get to be called a city. Like, you guys
That's
are what,
right.
a hamlet?
No, we're a town.
Oh, okay. Wow. Congrats. Good job.
Yeah, we are a town. We are not a hamlet, but yeah, there's all kinds of drama going on there with like the 20 people that
The
work
20 people that live there.
But
That
anyways,
happens when you shit where you eat, I guess.
yeah, that's a little bit what's going on. But anyways,
Right. So they make it to an empty Wrigley Stadium, and there's like the greatest passage. I loved how this was written. The wind sighed through the stadium, gusting, whistling, and moaning. Twilight had fallen, and the unit street lamps cast spidery shadows over the lot. Darkness gaped in the arches and doorways of the stadium, empty as the eyes of a skull. Thank God it isn't too creepy or anything.
yeah, right.
But like a little bit, it almost seems like it's like a good little foreshadowing
Sets
moment.
that,
like,
yeah,
you know,
right. Again,
little death.
It gives you that, and it's true because like if you've ever, you know, like there is such a hugely different feel between like a stadium convention place when it's full of people and there's an event going on, and something like this when it's like, you know, you have to be there because it's not. I'm like, it, you know, or like being like
Exact same thing as being in a school after
school.
hours.
Yeah, it's like there's just something very wrong about it, right? And, like it's just weird. These places shouldn't be empty. And
Is there anything you want to say about Doctor Who?
apparently, you haven't seen that episode, so
I've probably seen it. I just don't remember
or
it.
remember that episode. Yeah.
We're having an awful sense of deja vu today.
I feel like we've tried to record this before.
Like, it's all that. Apparently, Rose thought the teacher slept at school. You know, it's just yeah. So but you get this beautiful scene where because the other car pulls up, like Ortega and his buddies pull up, right, and Dresden's like, I'm not even going to acknowledge you. He's just, again, this is where Dresden likes to live up to the hype, like really lean into the whole like wizard stereotype that he's talked about before.
Oh, this isn't even wizard. This is like classic Western duel description that happens here. The wind caught my coat and it blew it back enough to show the gun on my hip, but now and again, like.
Yeah.
And not
really,
only
like-
that, he's got that, like, he's wearing a silk shirt and battle defense. Like, that's...
I know.
But Susan brings out the dramatic in him, though, right?
Right.
Like, Murphy seems always so quick to shut him down, and Susan's always like, yes, you are a wizard.
Yeah.
Fighting
Well, she
machine.
does, right?
And
She's
you've
like,
got the
"Ooh,
canvas, leather, duster, blood.
Right, well, this is totally the OK Corral moment where they're like, do you... Wow, wow.
Except it's that second beforehand, because he's like, this is when he's not even facing down his opponent yet. This is when he's like, you're not even worth me looking at you. He's like, he's staring at this big, empty, skull-socketed stadium and letting the wind blow back his hair, and he just stands there tall and imposing with his
he's like a
wizard
toothpick.
staff. And but yes, exactly. And it's, yeah, cute, because then Susan comes up to be the little sidekick, also superhero standing beside him while she's like, that's a good look. Like, I think they're worried back there.
Ortega's driver is about to wet his pants.
Yeah.
Say the nicest things.
Right. So yes, it's this lovely little posing moment of the superhero whole kind of. Yeah, beautiful. And I was gonna say, you imagine that poor Ortega here has like gone from like the top baddie, like in the first chapter of this book, it's like Ortega shows up out of the blue and is like, hey, we're gonna duel, and Harry is like, what the fuck, 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 and you think, okay, here's the big plot, here's the big baddie, and you're like, a second later, and it's like, no, I don't have time for you and your shit, Ortega.
And this is the craziest thing to talk on now that we know the whole story with Father Vincent is that Father Vincent and the Fallen got the drop on Harry right away as well. They didn't show up late to the game. He walked on stage with Ortega. Those
Yeah.
two motherfuckers were there at the same time. They
Yes.
were on Harry's ass both right away.
You're right. Yeah.
It wasn't just Ortega that was
No,
the biggest, baddest thing in the room, chapter 1.
It wasn't. He was just, the only one that introduced himself
Yeah.
at that time. But yeah, you're right. He would have already been impersonating him because they nailed him like right away when he
They got him at the airport.
got him at the
But in Italy, they got Father Fort Hill at the airport. His body was in Chicago.
Yes, because it's not Fort Hill. Stop trying to kill off Fort Hill.
don't know.
I know he's the most prevalent priest in this series, but every time you keep saying they killed Father Fort
Can
Hill,
only be one father in my
Fort
mind.
Hill. It's a damn person. Yeah, I'm like poor Fort Hill. You've just trashed his reputation. But yes, because Butters had that case. That's how Harry saw it. So yeah, as soon as he got off the plane. So so now Harry's just like, I am just I just don't have time. This is nothing.
You are nothing now.
You are talk to the hand, talk to the staff.
I got you covered. Meh.
Yeah.
So while they're standing there, there's an annoyingly loud car with a booming sub that comes screeching to a halt, parks diagonally across like several spots.
Good thing it's empty and there's nothing going on.
And it's none other than Thomas!
In another sports car. Not the same sports car he showed up in last night because the race have all kinds of money.
He's got
and power.
variety.
And, yeah, he's like, I have a different white sports car for every
This is
day
my
of the
dueling
week.
car. And I love it. He gets out and it's totally hot boxed.
I'm the second to the duel. If I was actually in the duel, I'd have a different car,
Yeah.
but this is I'm only the second in this
And
duel.
also only in
and
February. I'd have a different one if this was March.
Well, yeah, for sure. Not the convertible if it's, So, yes, and yeah. He's like,
Totally hot boxed.
yeah. And Harry's like, it wasn't cigarette smoke.
But he's such a card.
Also, like,
wearing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt, and he's just loaded.
And drunk driving.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a driver.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
driving
Bad
himself.
Bad Thomas.
Bitch.
That part I can't approve of.
No. Just because you're a vampire who's going to live through it doesn't mean anyone else will.
Yeah, right? It's always the other people he hit that. But yeah,
Imagine if he gets in an accident, he just fucks his way out of it.
Yeah, it'd be an orgy. Yeah, you're right.
Literally, yeah.
Oh, you're still alive here.
Not yet.
But yes, that was one of my favorite parts first time around reading this book. When he gets out of the car in a Buffy t-shirt, I was like, yes!
That's how you really feel.
Shows up to a duel in a vampire slayer shirt.
But
It's
true,
so
right?
perfect.
Yeah, nothing better than,
No better way to declare sides.
Which is funny because the whites, other than anybody getting a stake to the chest, is not good for people, but
Stick to the chest. Sorry. Just
but that's even more of a thing for like the reds than the whites kind of a thing, right? So it's just even that much more. It's not even like, making fun of your own thing, it's not like Ortega showing up in a Buffy tea. Yeah, it's just even funnier that Thomas is like, ah.
Right.
And he's all happy to see everybody. Hold on, Harry. Hold on, Susan. Which I love, and it's
I was
bad.
going to share this, but
Yeah,
Ortega ruined it.
Fucker stuffs the bottle out. But I have to say, we haven't seen Thomas since the gala, and this is the only thing I'm like, shouldn't they still be? I mean, obviously, I love Thomas, and this is brilliant, and I don't think I immediately thought of this at the time, but I was like, yeah, should you guys still be kind of pissed, because he's still responsible. He didn't, Susan didn't trip out, and like, Thomas kicked her out into the...
Boot to the chest.
Then he goes to the back.
That's never going to be old for me now.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, free for the rambling challenge. Stop quoting one thing.
$5 from now.
Well, this is the issue. When we get to Battleground, it'll be relevant again.
At least 12 books from now.
We just got to keep the hype up for the next 12 books.
We can do it.
We can do it. We can. I have faith.
But yeah, that's what's even worse, though, is that I'm pretty sure she had his back to him because she was busy guarding against him. Like, it wasn't even a boot to the chest. He literally, like, kicked her in the back.
Bye, bitch.
And yet they're all like, hey, nice to see you. How's it go? And I'm like, I don't know. I would think at least Susan, like, Harry, too. But
You're allowed to sacrifice someone else's girlfriend if it's to save your own girlfriend, okay?
Oh, okay. And then that said girlfriend that was sacrificed is like, oh, okay, you did it for Justine. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I get it. It's fine. I guess it's fine.
I guess. But anyways, yeah. So, yeah, no booze for them.
Right. Well, this is the comedy of this moment where Kincaid pulls up in this clown car golf cart thing with a light on the top of it to like bring all these participants inside.
See, it's not the fact that it's a clown car that he pulls up in a golf cart. It's the fact that everyone gets into the same one golf cart.
Okay, that's just how badass Kincaid is, though. That, like, dude can show up on a fucking golf cart and nobody's gonna say booed.
Golf carts only have 4 seats.
The whole situation is just lovely and ridiculous. Like, it's set up like a Western duel at first, and like, the one person that's somber is Ortega, that he's, like, taking everything super serious. Everyone else is just like, meh, whatever.
It's true, yeah. No one else gives a fuck about this. Thomas is like, oh, who cares? I gotta show up to this shit all the time on behalf of my dad. And Harry's like, way worse shit has happened. Who gives a fuck about you? And Susan's just like, well, whatever, you know. I'm just here to, like, observe, I guess.
And then we got Kincaid. Honk, honk. Yeah, get it, bitches.
Okay, in all fairness, he does say it's a mix between a golf cart and like a compact car, so I'm guessing it's more like one of those like Universal Studio like bench golf
Do you know what
carts.
makes me
train
think of?
ones
Like
that
the Austin
has-
Powers, where they've got that weird thing that like, gets stuck.
Yeah.
That's what I see with it.
I don't think that had many seats in it either, though. Still 4 seats. Someone could sit on the back bench.
You get that
but-
little back thing they have to go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get that reference.
Either
Austin
way.
Power has like a 37-point turn in a very narrow tunnel in a golf cart.
Okay, yeah.
It's a little ridiculous. Like, it's like
Yes.
them showing up in my car.
But yeah, so, I don't know, apparently it has enough seats for 7 or 8 people or whatever.
I just think, like, you know, it could have been much more, like,
And they're sitting on each
Untouchables.
other's laps.
Susan must be on
Harry's
Harry's.
one, Susan, please, let me be a gentleman. Just, you can sit here.
But also, Harry be the kind of douchebag that'd be like, a seat for the lady, and make, like, Ortega walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thomas is
100%
like, I'll
that
just
too.
sit on your lap. It's fine.
Yeah, Thomas is in Harry's lap.
Thomas is pretty enough. Nobody cares whose lap he's sitting in either. You know? Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's actually jogging behind
He's
it.
like, Kincaid is like, you can sit up here with me,
The
Thomas.
2 vampires could have easily walked. Okay, they could have been there in a second.
Vroom, super speed. Flash.
Yeah. I do like, too, where Kincaid is all like, where's the old man? And he's like, gone.
Yeah.
Went to the bench.
Nice bench.
Yeah, so,
He
yeah.
approved.
Clearly it's okay that
Which
he's brought
again-
a new second.
Mildly surprised that Susan doesn't give him like a smack upside that, like, excuse me, Kincaid. Like,
This is a tense situation, okay?
but yeah, Susan's like, it's okay, I'll take the comment. Susan's okay with a little objectifying once in a while.
Either way, though, the new second has
She
been
knows
approved.
she looks good.
She's
like,
well,
yeah.
I was gonna say, the first time we met her, she was like, you know, people would have looked down my shirt by now, Harry. Like, so we already know that Susan was like, okay, playing that card if it got her what she wanted. So I guess, yeah, she can't really complain the same way Murphy does. So yeah, so they all pile into the clown car, and then he drives them up to
Home base.
Center Field, the home base, Pitcher's Mound. That's what it is, the Pitcher's Mound.
Right.
I love baseball.
Pitcher's mound and home base the same. No. No, it's not.
Make for a really easy game, I think.
You know, baseball is an American sport, and I'm not American, so I'm not allowed to know the rules of the game.
Isn't this whole contention thing? Like, isn't this the whole, oh, for God's sakes.
It was something clever, I'm sure.
No, but it was a brilliant word, but isn't this the whole thing on whether Canadians or Americans invented baseball?
No, Canadians invented basketball.
Basketball.
I know that,
Like a
but
P-toop.
there isn't a thing with, I thought there was a thing about, maybe it's just who invented the baseball, because I know there's a whole thing at the Civil War or something like that. I don't know if it was the Independent or the Civil War, and somebody played baseball at a thing with a cat, I don't know.
Thing with a cat? Oh, God.
Cat, and
The first ever recorded baseball game in Canada was played in Beachville on June 4th, 1838.
No, not Canada, the U.S. one.
Oh, I thought you said you were trying to give Canada the credit. We invented basketball and lacrosse, and we take credit for hockey.
Oh, lacrosse? Man, we
The natives, we still
much
have
more
from.
brutal than lacrosse.
It used to be.
Boom.
And apparently we also invented wheelchair rugby. And apparently we are taking credit for baseball.
Are we?
That's what this website is saying.
Huh.
They're saying take the credit for baseball. It may be an incredibly popular sport in the United States, but did you know the Canadians helped in developing the rules for the game? Baseball was originally brought to North America by the influence of English rounders and had grown popular before the American Civil War. One of the first ever recorded baseball-type games in Canada was played in Beachville, Upper Canada on June 4th, 1838.
There you go, Civil
7
War.
years later, the New York Knickerbocker rules, the New York game rules, were introduced. It is believed their American friends leveraged Canadian rules and made changes for their baseball rules. Baseball was officially introduced as a medal sport in 1992 for the Olympics. I guess we invented baseball, and the Yankees stole it and put their own twist on it and took credit.
We're shocked.
Give it a bow.
Like Superman.
So, I thought I knew nothing about baseball, but I do know that home plate and the pitcher's mound are not the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever watched a single baseball game in full, but I really like those Banana Beach Boys.
There's Banana Beach Boys?
Yeah, they're Banana Beach Boy baseball players.
I feel like we...
Savannah Bananas.
Oh.
They're super fun on socials. Okay.
Okay.
Come
I will check that out right away.
But if it's not a guy in a yellow suit dancing on a baseball field, then I don't know anything about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Speaking of suits, so the archive comes out and she's holding a little box. She wore a dark dress with no frills or ruffles and a gray cape held closed with a silver brooch. And this totally, I have visions of her being a hobbit because in the Lord of the Rings, because she's got the silver brooch and a cloak, or like the
capey
the
cloak
cape.
thing. Yeah.
So I just yeah.
See, and here I picture like this very British, no nonsense conservative. Don't make me think of Ivy as a hobbit. Ivy's far.
See, I just have it's like the same thing as like the wizard's robes, like you wear your muted professional.
I mean, I get more like I do picture like the half cape for a woman or a girl or
Well, and it's just because it's a cape and a silver brooch, like that's the fellowship right there.
I get you, but
could you imagine the size of those Mary Janes?
I no. Do not give Ivy big hairy hobbit feet. Okay, that is just no.
I mean, as long as the hobbit's wearing shoes, you're fine, right?
They still have big feet.
Disproportionate.
Ivy is
like a troll doll.
Ivy is not a troll doll.
Telling you, she's a hobbit.
Bad. No, I refuse to have that. No, thank God I am like 20 years into the Dresden Files.
Do we have any artists out there? Can somebody draw this for me, please?
And Ivy is firmly cemented in my mind. You cannot change me now.
Okay, what did the hobbit say?
Ivy is going to...
Potato.
Tansen's fucked now. Ivy's coming for her.
No, we just said it out loud. As long as she doesn't write it down, we're good.
No. Now who's a fool for not taking notes, huh?
I'm just going to add here, Ivy has sense of humor.
Ivy has the best sense of humor ever.
Listen, if she tolerates Dresden, she'll tolerate us.
Can you believe these bitches?
Oh, man.
She said I had big feet.
Rude. He's like, I was only 7.
You're bullying a 7-year-old right now.
It's okay, I have hobbit feet myself.
Still a human girl. Yeah. I have feelings too. So she comes out to the pitcher's mound with her little box and pops it open, and Dresden's really the only one that reacts. I'm about to lose my Taco Bell.
No!
Taco time, my micho burrito, my chipotle, I don't know what kind of.
He's the kind of a Mexican pizza guy, I'm sure.
Ew.
Oh, they're good. They're great.
Just have a burrito.
I don't think I can have an opinion. I don't think I've ever had a Mexican pizza.
Yeah, it's
But, just saying.
like a flat taco it's a flat taco. It's really, that's it. It's a flat taco.
That's just what pizza is.
Cut in 4, it's a flat, yeah.
It is a pizza.
Oh. Whatever he had.
Oh my god, she has a scorpion. Did you know Harry's triggered by those? One tried to kill him once.
Well, this one doesn't fare very well.
And what tried to kill him once?
A scorpion.
Oh, scorpion. Sorry, I was, yeah, really.
Butcher probably has an ex-girlfriend that's a Scorpio. That's why
so much better. It's like, I
jabs.
was like, I don't think he dated a scorpion, but it's okay, you finished with Scorpio.
So this is the thing, is like, I know that scorpions are a problem in certain states in America.
Yes.
Like Arizona
Yep.
and other hot places.
Yes.
You've got, like flies and things. They manage to get in the door just easily, I guess. Like,
Oh, you'll find
it's
them
a
in
problem?
weird places. Like
I hear shoes are really bad.
And there's palm trees in Arizona too, so they like hide in the husks. So if there's a dust storm that comes through, you have to be careful because there could be flying scorpions.
So I'm just wondering, is like scorpions also just wander around Chicago? They're just really easy to catch one all the time. Like, here's a scorpion, there's a scorpion.
I think it's purely for the creep factor, because I think Harry makes a point of, like, who the fuck has scorpions around? But he's like, when he's talking about Victor's, not Vincent's, not Fort Hills, when he's Victor's, because he's like, they're just creepier because they're all clawy and scratchy, so he's like, they're good for dark magic because they're just uncomfortable and gross.
See, it all makes sense now if he's got a Scorpio ex-girlfriend.
There you go.
Right?
That's why so it would have been like, nobody wants to see Ivy throw a butterfly in this thing, okay? Like,
Fair enough.
you know?
That would have helped the creep factor, though.
Yeah, well...
First she pulled off its legs, then she tossed it in.
Thanks for letting me play with your kitty. Sacrifices a kitten.
the little punchy.
Okay, this part definitely is just verbal. I'm not writing it. No transcription of this episode ever. Right now, we do not give our consent for anybody to transcribe this episode.
Don't quote us or we'll sue. Before someone sues us.
So this one's not ending up on YouTube. Right. So she does make a demonstration with said scorpion. So she drops it into the box, and this sort of mysterious cloudy mass just decimates it. And it keeps going until the archive stops it with a few words. And we learn that it's Mordite, Deathstone. It is anti-life,
Either one.
Either, neither. It is anti-life from outside and not of this world. Outside with a capital O.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense at all, because if it's in Wrigley Field, it's got to be part of this reality, right?
Well, it is now.
Can't be there if it's not there.
Well, yeah, because Susan's like, oh, like extraterrestrial. So this is the interesting thing, because Harry's the only one that sort of reacted to it, but apparently the others do, because Ortega says something about it. So I'm like, apparently you've heard of it, just none of them recognized, I guess, what it was. But yeah, he's like, no, it's outside of our, like, not just this world, not extraterrestrial, but of the galaxy, the universe. It's not. And
I used the word before when we tried to... What Cthulhu is. What's,
Cthulhu?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the reference to... There's a whole genre on it.
Lovecraft?
Yeah, Lovecraftian is what?
Oh, shoot. Something horror.
Like, so, yeah.
I used it when with the first version of this.
Did you?
I did.
That's
You didn't write it down?
too
No.
bad.
Cosmic horror?
I wish I remembered
No.
what.
It's the type of monster.
Eldritch?
Eldritch, yeah. It's very Eldritch
Yes, you
horror
do. I do
type
remember
thing.
you saying that
yeah.
now. Yes, Eldritch, outside of reality.
Alternative dimensions. Or this is like the upside down.
Upside down.
If
Oh,
more
see,
Stranger Things is your
I
This is the
cup
thing,
of
though,
tea.
is like, did you break a hole in reality to get this? Did you, like, create a copy version?
Well, yes, yeah, so
It,
you're
like-
saying that it can't. So I'm like, again, I'm going to have to assume it's a little bit like same thing where, like, scorpions. Scorpions are not native to here. They are from outside, but you could bring a scorpion into here. So I'm going to assume it's that same, like, it's not of our reality. It doesn't naturally occur here. But obviously there must have been some way to bring it in. So it's, yeah, like you say, it's now part of our, but it's in our reality, but it's not a part of our reality.
And besides being a great plot device on Butcher's part, why would the archive choose that particular thing as a weapon? Like, okay.
Well, Thomas is all right because he's like, ooh, it looks like an inky soap bubbly thing, and it's all,
Yeah, like, if you're, like, a fucking, like, masterclassman little 7-year-old, at some point you're just like, I just want to see shit that's cool.
So yeah,
I'm bored.
right? I mean, I don't know. This
This has never been documented before. Let's do
Let's
it.
do this.
Well, for starters, nobody else can, I guess, interfere because, like, Thomas is like, ooh, what's this? And Harry, like, slaps his hand out of the way. He's like, don't touch, dumbass. When we say Deathstone, I mean Deathstone, right? It sucks all the life out of you, right? So nobody else, Susan's going to be like, well, let me get in here. You know what I mean? Like, anybody else tries to interfere, they're going to kill themselves by
it's
trying.
a really good deterrent.
So,
to
yeah, Ivy's
cheating.
like, well, I'm the only one that, like, you guys don't even know what this shit is, apparently, you know, let alone have any control over it and blah, blah, blah. So,
And this
there
must be a
could
test of wills. This is a harsh test,
This is
right?
a harsh test, because, yeah, exactly, it touches you and there's, like I say, there's no, like, oh, photo finish, like, did you see who? It's like,
Well, yeah,
one person
is just dead now.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it touched them. You know, like,
Clear to find winner.
I guess
This one has a hole in his body now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate when that happens.
So, yeah, so that way it is a very powerful thing that, yeah, you can't fuck around with it otherwise.
And to be
like,
fair
you're
to
gonna
Ivy,
find
too,
them.
like, if you're... I mean, for all intents and purposes, these two are representing both sides of the war entirely right now, right?
Yeah.
And that's not something to be messing around with. This isn't just one tiny little skirmish of a battle. This is supposed to be a huge event for the war. Either it's going to delay the war for
very
months, or at
deciding
least
fact.
set up a fucking safe zone, neutral territory within Chicago. Like, this has a lot of merit and a lot of heavy and a lot of whatever writing on it.
Yeah, it carries
But
a
yeah,
lot of
like, it
import,
makes sense
yeah.
that Ivy wouldn't mess around with this. It's like, you guys are at war right now. If we're
Yeah.
doing this, it's gonna be fucking hard and it's
It's-
gonna be intense. It's not gonna be rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, a very solid, very hard line that she's
Yeah.
drawing.
You
kind of
guys
thing.
aren't playing a game, neither am I.
ifs,
You want to be
yeah.
at war so bad, let's be at fucking war.
Yeah, yeah. And can I pet your kitty after?
Also, I'm 7, so
Even if you die.
I'm really cute while I do all that.
She's, Mr. Dresden, if you don't come out of this,
Who gets the tag?
can I just saying, just wondering.
I hope
He's
you
gonna do
die, so
something-
I get the tag.
Yeah, all of a sudden, He's like, ooh, why was I fucking for Dresden?
She actually secretly put in crayon in that document that
Writes his
And
will
I
form.
get your
all Dresden's kitties bequeathed to.
The archive. She doesn't have a name on paper. She doesn't have a birth certificate. Yeah.
Oy vey.
So this battle begins.
Yeah. Oh, and the seconds. What is their point even? Because it literally is their only point to set up the meeting because they're not allowed to interfere in any way, shape, or form. So I was gonna say, in Greece, Kinnicky gets whacked in the head, and then Danny's got to fill in for him. But these guys apparently aren't if Dresden starts losing, you can't just be like, "Hey, Susan, take over," for you know what I mean? So it's really was their entire purpose just to set up the one meeting that.
Just to make sure that somebody else is there, so if the first guy fucks off, they still get their pound of flesh with somebody else.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, I guess from that, I guess it's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess
Kinnicky gets knocked out before the thing, so yeah, I guess if some Dresden suddenly Charlie Browns and trips over the pitcher's mound and knocks himself out.
This is the problem with
Susan
being
gets the
Harry's
battle
friend, though, is
edge.
the whole point of having a second is if something happens to the first. And in Dresden's world, people's shit keep happening to the second. Shiro, he wanted Michael, he ended up with Shiro, now he's got Susan.
This is you don't want to do any favors. Well, I don't know. You either don't want to do any favors for Dresden, or you never want to say no to doing a Dresden. And same thing with Papa Wraith here or whatever, right? Thomas, what kind of
He's been surprisingly effective. If he dies, I don't care. But he keeps doing things, so okay.
How does Team Wraith still have any allies or whatever, though? How is he still in right? Because he's the whole thing with Bianca is Bianca's hey, I'm moving up in the world. I'm a big, powerful red court. Hey, Mr. Leader, King of the White Court, come. And he's I'm going to send Thomas because I don't really give a shit about you.
So
and
passive
Thomas
aggressive.
yeah.
Super.
And then Ortega's I'm going to show up. We're going to have this big duel. Let's be vampires against vampires and show them that, we're not going to take all this sitting down. He's I'm going to send Thomas.
Well, and they can't call Papa Wraith on it because he'd be are you insulting my family honor?
How dare you? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is funny to think, Papa Wraith has been in charge for who knows how long, and he just keeps sending sons, right? And it's eventually you guys are going to get the hint, right? Or is it just rude to not send an invitation?
He just keeps reproducing to replace the ones that he's killed.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know how he still has any, because exactly, it's everybody knows it's this open but not said secret kind of a thing that, yeah, he's basically snubbing his nose at every time so I'm what events do you actually show up to that are this is where you're oh, Tom, they're sending Thomas again, I was I'd be if the Red Court, I'd be fuck you, Wraith, we're not. Why do you ask him for anything now?
Open invitation to everyone except Thomas.
Or does he have certain, there's certain red vampires that you agree to help out? It's just, you don't, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I was I don't know.
It is quite funny.
It's yeah.
I do love that the archive, when she's explaining the whole how this will work with using will to determine how the Mordite will you have to kill the other opponent with it, and the seconds will observe and are not to interfere. But then she goes to the extent of dumbing it down for Thomas.
Okay, because 5 seconds ago Thomas was ooh, pretty soap bubble. Don't touch. So yeah. Don't interfere and he'll kill you. Gotcha, pumpkin. It's
Thanks.
Thomas, you're lucky you are pretty, because you're lucky that Ivy doesn't just slap you across the field right now, too.
Thomas, you don't deserve that disrespect.
Gotcha, pumpkin. But yeah, I know, because I mean, it's so blatantly clear, too, that Thomas, doesn't give a shit about, you know what I mean? It's not even, even if you're saying, Papa Wraith is, insulting you by sending it, but you're, even Thomas doesn't give a shit, you know what I mean?
Oh, he thinks it's funny, for the most part.
You've got absolutely no backup, because Thomas is
he gets to show up and be
want a drink?
Haha, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah. It's
he's the salt shaker on the wound,
oh,
totally.
Jeez, right?
He takes pride in that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, she probably doesn't really need to dumb it down for Thomas, because Thomas is like, I'm going to interfere anyways, but okay, cool.
Whatever you say, little girl.
Oh, now you've given... Oh, sorry, Ortega. I was totally going to jump in there, but you said I can't.
It gives her at least a little bit of a sense of humor. She's like, and for for those of us in here, I don't understand.
Patronizing this from a regular child, right?
Right, exactly. So this is basically it. Raise your right hands and so wherever there's, because we haven't seen them be appointed, so I was like, I hope you guys, because if you're just kind of like randomly standing there, she's like, okay, there's your starting point. You're like, no, wait. Like,
Well, they have a little bit of a prep.
Take our 10 steps back or something. She's just basically, okay, guys, put your hands up, and she lobs the Mordite into the middle of it.
And then they do prep a little bit. Like, Ortega gets to put a defensive bracelet on, and Harry downs his anti-venom, like, in a very classic sense, belches it up.
Classy dress. Classy.
And this is where everybody like takes their positions, and Thomas with his flask, of course.
Well, we're gonna go sit on the bench.
He's more like the peanut gallery out there instead of a second.
Oh God, right?
Like, Ortega brought his own posse, right? And they didn't
get
get
like 2 or 3 people in his car. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, he brought other vampires with him when he arrived, right? And they didn't get to go in the golf cart; they had to walk themselves to the stadium. Some go through security, give their tickets.
They've got the driver with like detailed description of his glasses. I was like, maybe he'll come up again. No, some guy with amber glasses just disappears.
He was just afraid of Harry. Cool.
He's a side note that got deleted.
Right.
He's
possible.
boring.
I meant to confirm. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, they don't have to go through security because there's no event.
I know.
So
they didn't get a golf tour.
They just didn't get a golf tour, but yeah, at least they don't have to present tickets to anybody.
Right.
Here's your tickets to the duel. I left them in my other bandolier. I don't know.
Whatever. They had to get tickets to fucking Bianca's. I'm sure Ortega could have sprung if he wanted to. Okay.
Where's one of these perfect opportunities? It's like, oh, we're going up against Dresden. It's like, I would pay money to see that. It's like, yeah, could have. Yeah,
you know what's funny is that Taylor Swift's doing this international tour right now, and people were predicting
Taylor Swift
is doing this international tour.
Okay, see, I heard is suing his international tour.
Anyways.
None of that.
So people were predicting where she was going to perform next due to just massive stadiums around the world being blocked off, but without an assigned event. And it'd be like, this stadium is booked for like this whole weekend, but it doesn't say what for. People are like, bet you it's Taylor Swift coming here, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha,
and it'd be like, Harry should just be like, all right, is there any unknown events booked for Wrigley Field? Am I about to be scheduled to a battle like in the next 2 weeks? Like, Wrigley's been booked out for midnight tomorrow, and it's a full moon tomorrow. I'm feeling very afraid right now.
Once again, is this the power of the archive? Let me just redo your calendar here.
Yeah.
We got a booking right here that's free. We got a booking right here that's free. Oh, and the janitorial staff will not be there.
Oh, you guys all got a day
Harry,
off.
Did you know that Ortega's at Staples right now making invitations to your funeral? Hey, Harry, Bianca's getting your grave and
She's got, there's a
grave
receipt
carved
here.
right now.
She paid $237 for it, so
that's it.
There's Ivy, and she's be like, oh yeah, Wiggles, you canceled on me? Well, guess what? You're now off the schedule.
Canceling you.
What happened to all our bookings? Yeah, doing us out the archive.
See, this is the thing that would be great about Ivy is like she doesn't have to wonder if Walmart has her favorite cookies in. She's like, oh yeah, they got 17 on stock right now. Oh, but the Safeway's $1 cheaper.
she's like the ultimate coupon clipper.
Yeah, she just knows, like, okay, the Sunday Times today has a really good coupon on shampoo.
I went shopping and I came back with $50.
Yeah.
So the duel does commence, and the archive activates the sphere, and Ortega is the one that takes the big first wild and strong blast of will, like this big giant swing, and Harry takes some time. He can't quite get it until it finally stops about 5 inches away from him, and he finally is able to stop it.
Wasn't expecting Ortega to, because again, he's all like trying to do the magic-y and the will thing. Like, sure, if this was a physical fight, he knows Ortega's got but wasn't expecting Ortega to go, whoa, shit, we're starting. and has him take a moment and catch that shit before.
And it's just super strong. Like, whoop.
And not only that, but like he's totally on the offensive too with like his words. He wants to cut Dresden down because he suddenly starts naming specific people that his vampires are going to kill if Harry wins. He's
first of all, he's just like, don't make it hard on yourself. Just like lay down and die. I was trying to give you some dignity. Just, this is your way out. Do it. And when Harry's like, I don't want to, then just, yeah.
I don't do anything with dignity.
Exactly.
And this is where the taunts begin.
And yeah. And
I'm gonna kill this guy and this guy. Oh.
He's talking about Max. He's talking about the Knights and Charity. He's like, I know about fucking Ebenezer, the Alphas at the university, fucking the guy you apprenticed under for the Nick. Yeah, right? Like, he knows so many more names.
Yeah, not even
You said you weren't gonna do that. I lied.
Yeah, it's like, but that's why I agreed. You said you wouldn't. Oh, shucks.
Yeah, right? And this is the problem, too, is like reverse engineering who the fuck you think is on your team. We mentioned this several chapters back, is like, you don't know exactly who you've spoken to after all these years and all the random little clients that came through for one thing or another, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to, like, sit down and make, like, a fucking wedding list, right? That's already a hard task to do. Like, who's the most important 50 people, or most important 100, or 150, or whatever, right?
Or who's just gonna whine the most?
Either way, but then to determine what list Ortega thought was important to you, right? Because I'm sure if Harry were to sit down and be like, the most important people, it'd be like 10 or less people, right?
Yeah.
But when you've got everyone you've ever interacted with or spent any amount of time with as well, it's like, you know, Max probably wouldn't have been on his list, but he is now. Ortega's decided that that's a significant enough relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're thinking, like, yeah, who's in your circle, you're like, oh, well, yeah, my barkeep guy, like, I like him, he's a good, but yeah, you're not necessarily expecting that some
like you're gonna
vampire assassin is gonna go gunning for, exactly.
You're coming for my favorite waitress? What?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird, dude. You shouldn't know that.
At the same time, though, if Tanzan has half the relationship with this waitress that Dresden does with his then actor, you know, think about it.
Actually, some of my favorite people are waitresses.
The only
and
home-cooked
bartenders.
meals he gets. He eats SpaghettiOs at home with Mister, okay?
I couldn't open with a can opener. I gotta go out for it.
Right? But, yeah, no, it's insane. And it is, like, who he lists off here, you know, like I said, even the Alpha, it's like, okay, we've seen them a couple times, we've only seen them a couple, but again, we know how much they quote-unquote hero worship Harry, and you know what I mean, and again, they're a bunch of pimply college kids, you know what I mean, like, they probably haven't even graduated yet between book 4 and book 5, or sorry, book 2 and book 5, you know what I mean, like, yeah, that's all of a sudden just very...
It's probably a good thing that it wasn't more contemporary and, like, there's social media out there, so, like, Ortega'd be like, let me grab your friend's list.
It helps that Harry can't use the social media.
Can you imagine if Harry was like Thomas? Like, Thomas probably has, like, 1,000, like, you
selfies.
know. Nobody, like, he goes to parties, and you know what I mean? Like, Thomas is out there and social, and his friends, and whether they're, you know, enthralled by his psychic goodness or yumminess or just whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, Thomas knows a lot of people.
That's why they're going after his clients. They ran out of people after like 12, and they're like, oh, we got a lot more thugs than this.
Thomas doesn't know anybody, or Harry doesn't know anybody. Like, Duke has like 5 friends.
Yeah.
Like, just...
Well, and this is where, like, Ortega really makes the big mistake, because Dresden is very protective of the people he loves.
This is his thing.
So this is just fuel, and complete fuel for him. Like, he's now angered that he's been, like, that they're threatened. So.
Fuel to the fire.
This is the typical, like, I don't know if this is actually on the Evil Overlord list, because I feel like I did read it once way back when, but should be. It's like the same thing about not, like, monologuing about your, and then, like, revealing all your plans. It's like, every time you try and psych out the good guy by, you just piss him off and make him angry, and now he's going to come at you 10 times as hard. Like, it really seems like the odds are... Like,
Harry really uses that, always has used that.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can psych him out, but seems like more often than not, it always fucking backfires. You're like, now you just made me mad. And exactly, for Harry specifically, because we know that, again, in general, we talk about, like, when we're pissed off or whatever, you know, like, you know, can you run faster scared than you can mad or whatever, you know? And
it's savior complex. Like, so if you're going to come after his friends, he definitely is going to, like, step up and be the savior of his friends.
Well, but I'm talking more just specifically with his power. Like, Harry talks about using his emotions and things specifically to fuel his magic. So we're like, when we talk about physical, like, same thing, you know? Like, you're like, oh, you get really mad and you, like, accidentally, you know, rip the handle off your cupboard instead because, you know, you didn't know you were opening it that hard or something like that. You know, I'm like, yeah, you have that general, but I'm like, Harry specifically, we're not even talking about just, like, you have X amount of muscle mass, can you psych yourself up into using it more? It's like Harry literally feeds all of his magic with, whether he's happy or sad or angry or, you know, so he...
And I think all of his biggest strikes up to this point have been anger fueled.
Yeah, well, because that's
strong emotion.
That's a strong offensive, like, on the offensive, exactly, if you want to attack. So yeah, same thing, like, at Bianca's, right?
Or fear, but, like, this, I think the anger's already been higher on that level.
Is spiking that up too. Because again, fear can sometimes cause that freeze reaction that you're right. When you just start getting mad, you generally are still thinking clearer than when you're afraid, kind of a thing.
Right,
like
yeah.
it can still cloud your, but yeah. So I think that's
Like one emotion fuels into another, and then, you got problems.
Yeah.
same thing, right? I mean, it's like for both of us, right? Or most of us, right? If you're getting down and frustrated, it's harder. Once you're like, hey, fuck this, I am gonna, and boom, shit gets done or whatever, right? So yeah, Harry's like, boy, did you just say the wrong thing. Like, you're trying to psych me out, boy, I'm gonna mess you up.
And he tries. It's like, he's pushing against him. He's like getting closer and closer and closer. And he's like, motherfucker, like, that's it. I'm done. I'm tired of this shit. I want it over with. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
he can see, like, Ortega's working for it now. He's the one that's straining to keep it away from him while Harry pushes it. Yeah, he's like,
And then, cheater of the cheats.
fool.
Mr. Floppy Arm.
Yeah. Wait a second. That doesn't look, what's wrong with your arm? It doesn't.
Sorry, I wish I could get like video of you doing that. We'll just have a GIF, and that'll be the whole episode
floppy arm.
advertising.
My
This is what we
Ortega
talked about this
impression.
episode.
It's funny because when her arm goes floppy, so does the rest of her. So
It's my days off, okay? I deserve to wear something that's not a uniform. Stop picking on me.
that's fine. It's just, as you said before, you just can't do fast movements. But yeah, so at this point, Ortega's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, just take it for the team and just lay down and die.
That's one
You'll
more thing
save
too,
so
though.
many-
Yeah, like his manifesto or whatever, like that. The whole like, I'm willing to die for this if as long as I take you out with me. I don't give a
Ortega
fuck
was-
about
yeah.
this war. Needs to be delayed right now. I volunteered to be the one to do it. Let's fucking do this, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
Don't care how I have to cheat. Don't care which of your friends I gotta fuck up. So yeah, so Harry's getting there. He's getting closer, and Mr. Ortega pulls a gun.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? So Ortega
Sticks it through his belly.
Well, yeah, this is
Kind of.
okay. So you gotta. We were talking about like this whole flesh mask kind of thing, but I'm like, and again, Ortega was described as being like kind of fit and whatever. So I was like, how much room do you have in there that you can like pull your arm out of your like fleshy arm socket and like wriggle it around inside your
Without anyone seeing under this short little jacket, right?
fleshy?
It's
like,
weird.
Like,
And this is why, like, if you're a supernatural creature out there in the world, you've got to let us perform autopsies on you. I know the whole, like, don't let the humans find out because they're going to do testing.
we have questions.
We have questions.
We
You have
have
no
a lot of
choice. I
questions.
need your body in an anatomy textbook. I'm sorry. You just go
yeah.
submit yourself to Area 51. You have no option. Please.
Yeah, we
I need to know how these vampire skin suits work compared to other supernatural skin suits. Because
Yeah.
it's come up a lot and we're only 5 books in.
And it's just different every time you. Yeah, definitely ew. But also, how do you?
I mean, is he more like spandex, where it just,
Oh,
or has
it
he done
must-
permanent damage and now he's got stretch marks?
Layla, the latex lady.
Except she was sexy. This sounds decidedly not.
And she got creepy at the end, though.
Actually, she got very creepy at the end. But yeah, no, I don't. Because any of us, I'm like, you try and wriggle out of a coat. It's not how. Yeah, exactly. How is he doing all of this and
Vampire,
remaining
okay.
unnoticed? But
Vampires
yeah.
are just cool. We do what we
That was
want.
double jointed.
But how do you?
Ew, yeah, that's even grosser.
But
Like,
you're not like.
Yeah.
Because generally you have to.
he did it beforehand. It's been a floppy arm this whole time. I only just noticed now.
He had.
Swaying in the breeze. That's
He
what
had it tucked in his coat pocket the whole time, and now in the
Harry
Harry
was
was
like-
finally come out.
Harry was standing up there letting his coat billow, being cool, and Ortega's like, I'd go up there, but then they'd know my arm isn't real.
My arm.
I gotta stay out of the wind down here.
Flapping in the wind.
As the golf cart's going. He's like one of those like things outside the car.
Like the wiggle man.
Car auto, yeah.
It's like a bicycle flag flopping along behind.
Yeah.
Jesus. So yeah, so he's getting mad. He's like, Ortega to Harry, he's like, you're just like selfish and self-righteous, and like we're doing this for the right thing. Like I don't care, because yeah. And Harry's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, you murder and enslave like children. Like no.
Yeah, right.
And
Ortega would be furious about the amount of unseriousness we're being about his duel.
he would be. He was like, what's his name? He's like, poor, he got punched down so hard. He came up as like the beginning of the biggest, baddest. And then Harry's like,
Who cares anymore,
seriously
man?
don't even have time for you. Like, I was really worried a minute ago, but yeah, sorry, dude. No. Yeah, Ortega's like, excuse me, and like, no one is paying attention to me. Like, I am trying. Hello, war? War? Is that not?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, so he's like, so Harry's pissed off and is getting closer and closer, and how does it feel to be about to die? And then you just know shit's going wrong, because then Ortega just starts to smile. And it's like, oh.
Why don't you tell me?
This concludes our episode 10.26, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.